3 by 4?
3 by 4.
3 by 4.
3 by 4.
3 by 4.
Did you know that Besigye has never won a medal? I didn't know that until this morning.
No medal whatsoever.
Nothing. All the medals they give out every single year, they give out medals on Heroes Day, they give out medals on Women's Day, they give out medals on every single day. And Besigye, who treated our loving, visionary president, has never gotten one medal.
It's so weird that even Winnie Mandela, his wife,
has not.
No, I think about 4 years ago she was on the list.
Mm-hmm.
She just refused to go and receive the medal, but she was on the list. Besigye was in the bush from 1982. He was internal affairs minister at 29. National political commissar.
Yeah.
He's done quite a lot, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done. He was commander of the mechanized brigade.
But he's got nothing.
He was an army MP up until I think around 99.
And I have better chances of getting a medal than he does.
Yeah, and people like Abiriga have actually received
Imagine
medals.
that. God.
Hi, my name is Ophelia, and I'm here with some gentlemen, as you've heard.
Okay, the next time you talk about medals, let me know when Kelly wins a Grammy, and then we shall compare. If you think that each and everyone should win. There are people with a couple of talents. Kelly has produced from a gospel hit to a dancehall hit, but no Grammy.
Yeah,
so
maybe because he's a rapist.
So stop
God.
Besigyerizing us and Winnie-izing us.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Man, this guy has a long name.
Right?
Hi, this is Benjamin.
Yeah, my name is Biwol Siabonga Mandla.
Yeah, Bernard recently went to South Africa, and we haven't had the last of it.
Oh, do we have to say
Speaking
that?
of South
Does
Africa,
even know the meaning of Siabonga? It's like saying thank you. And the other name you mentioned.
speaking of South Africa, recently we lost a person who was supposed to be my friend. Me, personally, I'm very sad. I wish I could have gone for the funeral. Bernard, can't you connect me and we go to South Africa?
Yeah, I can work.
Do you know what it's like to get a South African visa?
Oh,
It's a nightmare. I know.
It's like walking through the eye of the needle.
it is. But this
Anyway.
this lady, by the way, is named, or rather, my sister is named after Winnie.
Yeah, Nomzamo Winifred Zanyewe Madikizela, known well as Winnie Mandela. Everything. Anti-apartheid activist, politician,
Member of
ex-wife of
Parliament.
Nelson Mandela, which everybody's making it sound like it was the main thing she ever did.
Yeah, she was also ANC's national executive. She was on the committee. She served on the committee for
Wasn't
some time,
she-
and she headed the women's
Yeah,
league.
she was leader of the ANC Women's League for a while.
And now that she has passed, of course, all the dirt is coming up, and all the rosy stuff is coming up, and people are exchanging punches over whether she's a heroine or a villain. I don't even know why this is happening. The woman was and will always be a heroine. End of discussion.
I think this discussion is happening because we are talking about a woman. Imagine if she had been a white man, this discussion would have ended. She would be up there in the league, in the same league as Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Who, by the way, was a horrible
George
guy.
Washington.
He was a racist.
Abraham
he was
Lincoln.
Yep.
That's
really a
the
terrible
vein
person.
in which we'd be discussing her if Winnie Mandela was a white man. Unfortunately for her, she's black.
She's like at the bottom of the chain.
Yes.
She's black and she's a woman.
and she's a
Imagine
woman.
that. Imagine that.
Because
and a militant, woman who was not afraid to
No
express
nonsense.
herself.
Because what you have
Yes.
to remember is this woman, she was a nurse.
Yeah.
She was very unprepared for the life that she ended up facing.
Yeah.
Unlike Mandela and the other guys who had been involved in some rebel
That
activities
grueling,
and had been doing training in camps across Africa.
Yeah. Even
She
in
wa-
Uganda.
Yeah, she wasn't. She just got married to this man that she loved. She knew he was passionate about ending apartheid.
And she was as well.
She was
Yeah.
as well. She just wasn't prepared to take leadership in the way that she was.
Yeah.
That she had to.
And yet she took
And
it
yet
really well.
She took it really well. After the Rivonia trial, in which the Mandelas and Kathrada and all those Walter Sisulu, after they were sent to jail, the ANC had no leadership. They had no presence. And there was a risk that that fight could have gone on longer than it actually did. It took this woman and us who was virtually unprepared for this fight
And very young.
and untrained and young
Yeah.
to get the revolution by the scruff of
And keep it going.
and keep it going. Keep the Mandela name out there. Fight the police, organize, which she wasn't prepared for, and
also be a mother.
Yes, and also be a mother, and on the basis of just that, because yesterday, as having this discussion with someone saying, Mandela spent 27 years in prison, and like those. So when we think of Mandela, we think of his power of reconciliation,
But we forget.
But to push the apartheid regime to negotiate on the table, Mandela was in prison. There was someone on the streets fighting, and it took that person to push the apartheid regime to come to the table and negotiate. Even people like Desmond Tutu, who are calling her out, like, what's his place in that? Like,
in the revolution itself, what did he actually
what's
do?
his place?
Yeah.
I think and Desmond Tutu,
and yet he won a Nobel.
He did, and so did Nelson. But with all due respect to Desmond Tutu and the entire reconciliation guys, the EFF the other day released a statement, and according to them, Winnie Mandela should have been South Africa's first president. First female black president. So there was consistency in terms of in the ANC for guys to kind of hold her back, because she was really, really up there. Apart from the fact that she kept the war kind of going and the battle going and whatnot, she had proper plans. She had long-term plans. She was more foresighted than many of these guys who were in the ANC. And so, of course, they say history is written by the victors. Now people know Nelson Mandela's story and all, which is good. It's brilliant. He shared that Nobel Peace Prize with F.W. de Klerk and whatnot, which is very, very healthy. But there are people who did the dirty work, and this kind of is not talked about that much. And in every war out there in the world, people who do the dirty work. In Haiti, which is one of the only places where slaves successfully overthrew their masters, nobody knows this story.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the story because, the victors eventually end up writing their story. I think as Africans and generally people in the world, we need to dig up all these stories from the past, the Kabalegas, the Mwangas, and rewrite those stories, because there is a lot that has been hidden from us.
Or written from the eyes of, a different, like, white, racist, sexist eyes. And if you do not write your own thing, then people just say whatever they want.
But again, why do we wait for people to die before we see how good they are?
Already sang it.
But we didn't wait for Winnie to die. I remember Makerere here recently went and honored her. In fact, the VC had to fly down to South Africa.
Yeah, they gave her an honorary PhD.
Yes, when she had failed to come over during the graduation ceremony. So people don't hold back. At least for Uganda, we don't.
Really? Uganda is actually the worst. Let me ask you a question. Are we waiting for Besigye to die before we can, like Ophelia was saying,
acknowledge
before we can acknowledge his role in, advancing Uganda's politics, not just as an opposition person, but keeping people on their toes, keeping the government on its toes? It needs that person. Are we waiting for him to die before we do that?
How many Budonian friends do you have? I think you should get acquainted with their motto. Gacha ni mabaga.
Look at this guy.
I don't understand this. Okay, but please explain this thing that you have just said.
So in other words, he hasn't done anything.
You
right?
don't rush it. You don't rush it.
You wait for him to die. This is what we're saying.
And you will be honored. You don't have to wait till the death to be honored.
But this is what we're doing, and it's not. It's good. It's good that we're talking about
just
this.
Like the way you see, they still honor the veterans still in the world. We are not waiting for them to die. People are still being honored.
I think
that's why I told you, R. Kelly, brilliant chap, no Grammy to his name.
So because he's a rapist.
Oh wow!
I think the message here is that if you are a woman, you
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, because you're in trouble. Because it's so easy to forget you. Yeah. And you know, we've been talking about all of these things. Last week, Charles Onyango Bo and Robert Kabushenga. Charles Onyango Bo, you know, veteran, revered journalist. Robert Kabushenga, CEO of Vision Group, did tried to do a thread of women to celebrate women across the continent who have basically
who are in the stead of Winnie Mandela.
Yes, who are in the stead of Winnie Mandela,
But
we don't even know about because we are busy celebrating Robert Mugabe and Thomas Sankara and Amilcar Cabral and Samora Machel
and whatnot.
So I just want to like take us, you know, if you're on Twitter, go and follow up. But if you, I just want to list a couple of names. If I mispronounce them from that thread, please forgive me.
We will not.
Yeah. So there's someone called Josina Muthemba Machel. That was Samora Machel's first wife.
Yeah, she died really young. She died at 25. But imagine at 25, she had already done enough to be recognized as...
His second wife, ironically, got married to Nelson Mandela after he had divorced Winnie Mandela.
Yeah.
So I think
that's the one who's married to presidents.
Yes. There's the
Ugandan one, Muhumuza.
Yeah.
She led the Nyabingi resistance against both German and British colonialists. So she fought the German colonialists in Tanzania and she fought the British colonialists in Uganda.
Look at that.
Yeah, she was the chief in Kigezi. And eventually they caught her, deported her to Uganda, and she died in 1945.
How many people know
1945. That is not
Imagine
even
that.
not even long ago. But people like
so we should know her, but
we
then,
ought to. Yes, we must.
Yeah, but like we say, if
you're a woman,
sorry. There's just this one that I want that Robert Kabushenga put out, and I'm going to read it as it is. This is a real gem. Here is a bender. Chief Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, from Nigeria. She needs no introduction. She took on the political military group and then left them with some migraines in 5 unmanageable Kuti sons.
Yeah.
And a rambunctious nephew called Wole Soyinka.
Yep.
But you people are busy talking about ladies. Here we have ladies who have also been recognized. There's one Nalwe, so the highest ranked lady in the military in East Africa.
Yeah.
And she received a medal. So I don't see what you're talking about ladies not being recognized.
This is one in how many? How many women do you know? How many women do you know in the military who have been given, their due?
But there's such a thing as tokenism.
Of course, thank you. That's the word. There's always one person to appease the masses. Oh, let's show them that we are.
But you know that Winnie was having that whole parliamentary life kind of role, because from the time she was given MP from 94 till her death, she was still recognized.
You mean the time she was elected?
But still,
yeah.
You mean she doesn't have any limits to her role altogether, or leadership?
Other powerful women, Miriam Makeba.
Oh
yes.
And Miriam
Makeba. One you may know because of her music.
Two things that come to my mind when you mention Miriam Makeba. That Serafina movie.
Yeah.
I will never forget that movie.
That movie was everybody's childhood.
If you did not watch that movie growing up on a VCR,
we are sorry that you had such a bad childhood.
I don't know.
Fortunately for me, I didn't have to watch it on the VCR. I saw her when she performed for the very first time in the 90s in Uganda. So
what did you
your privilege is showing.
But this is the same. He was the same guy last week. Whose father owned the car. He was the only guy in this
right?
Then he lied to us when he was going on Kameme.
All I did was to own a wire car.
Anyway, so the second thing about Miriam Makeba that comes to my mind was she was on an episode of the Bill Cosby Show a long time ago.
Yeah.
And she schooled them about African history. I got goosebumps. And she was telling them about their heritage, and everybody was just dumbfounded. This woman...
Yeah, she was a Pan-Africanist, she was an anti-apartheid activist, she was a musician.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just ask, for us to... Because this is just going to continue. Women contributing to
causes and then being
relegated to the back. Winnie Mandela tried to stand for vice president of the ANC in '97, and she had been tainted so badly,
very badly,
so she couldn't stand. But that would have meant that she is in good place to be
president. Precisely
with the ANC and South Africa. But I just want to ask you guys as we conclude, how do we make sure that first, because I feel like we are not at apartheid level, because apartheid is the extreme of racism, yeah? We are not at that level, but we always have all of these struggles going on as a country and as a continent, yeah? One, how do we make sure that there's more women engaged in the struggle, but that their role is recognized in much the same way that
and their
the
stories
men,
are told.
yeah? How do we get to that point? In one sentence from each of you, especially because we have the second youngest population in this country.
Yeah.
So and again, we have more women than men in this country. So in just one sentence, Bana,
For me, I think women are already getting in those spaces. They're doing these things in art, in sport, in music, in politics. They're doing these things. All we have to do is, when we are telling the story, let's not tell a gender story. Let's tell a human story. End of discussion. So if somebody was involved in the struggle, whether they were male or female, tell their story, period, without necessarily, diverting. Is it male? Is it female? No, just tell the story, because freedom fighters are there in every, aspect of life. So simple as that for me.
I think it's as simple as getting down to respecting the lady, making sure that they complete their education, good health services, the simple basics, because if you don't take care of those, then there will be no lady to respect. Get rid of the GBV.
True.
Yeah.
Ophelia, do you want me to speak first so that you conclude as
Yes.
the lady on the show, or do you?
No, you
Is that
speak
okay?
first.
No, this is what we are talking
This
about. Like, it
consent
doesn't matter.
things.
you
No,
know?
no, it actually
doesn't matter,
I actually,
Please
actually,
allow Benjamin
is-
to speak.
no, I actually think
Thank
it
you.
matters.
Yeah.
I think, coming from where I work, I really think that investing in education that's quite informative is important.
Yeah.
Because if we educate our girls, yeah, and tell them that they are as good and probably
Many
even
times
better,
even better, yeah.
better than the men. If we have equity, because equity is the center of all of this. So if we have equity in all of these things, then people get recognized for their contribution. There's no worry that I will contribute as much as someone else has, but then they get the recognition and I don't. And then because with recognition then comes access to all of these other things that usually have people who are deserving cut out. So I think education and emphasis that emphasizes equity would be for me the starting point.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. But I'd like to add that it's important that women tell their own stories, because part of the problem is that the stories are written by white men.
Yeah.
And I think that black women have to make an effort to create, not that, of course, we are the victims here, so not that they are not doing enough to create, but like everybody who has space must say, like, last time somebody asked on Twitter, do you know your mother's name before she got married? Do you know your grandmother's name? Do you know her great grandmother's name?
Yeah.
Do you know the things that they did to contribute to your life today?
Yeah.
So I think
And
that
their
it's-
dreams.
yeah, what they wanted to do or what they did. Because my grandmother wanted to go to school so badly, but they were like, nope, you're a girl, you can't go to school. And so she put all my dad and all his sisters and brothers through school, like tooth and nail, without a husband who died. When he died, she was like 20, maybe 25. And she put them through school until the last one, that's like 16 children.
Wow.
Right?
That's
So
huge.
yeah, so do you tell a story of your grandmother, not just the great men? Because if you do that, if you normalize stories about women and the things that they contribute to, then it's like
It's
Winnie
just
Mandela
any
is
other.
not. I mean, we only quote Churchill's great quotes. We don't quote him talking about how racist he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that we have, and I think that people have done a really good job this week of eulogizing her, right? Of saying, like, by the way, forget the things that they've said about her. This is what.
Precisely. I think also, and this for me is a very, very big deal, any man who kind of stands up to regress the struggle should be stamped out. People like Onesimus should be
Onesimus
thrown
to
behind
the-
bars.
Yes! Yes!
How do you say
Yes.
such things and get away with it? These are the things that draw us back. We take 2 steps forward and
Yeah.
8 steps back. So for me, people
That's
like
it.
Onesimus.
Onesimus
Down with
Onesimus.
Onesimus. I don't even know why he's still an MP.
Okay, in conclusion, Onesimus to Namasko must
I'm even
resign.
pissed.
Thank you guys for listening and have a good week.
And please follow us at Millennials DN. Contribute to the debate. And
3x4?
3x4.
3x4.
3 by 4.